So again, good morning, guys, and welcome to FYI. I was saying there that we were struggling with some challenges before we came on, but we're happy that you guys are here. You are here, we are here, and all is well. Still trying to make sure everything is connected okay. After some outside broadcasts over the weekend, you got to come back and make sure all of the systems connect nicely behind the scenes, and that sometimes is a challenge. That's sometimes a challenge, but we're working through it, guys. Great to have each and every one of you here while we tweak one or two things in the back. Yeah, so welcome again. Welcome again. It's so great to have each and every one of you here. Working through some snafus at the back end. We've got lots to share with you guys this morning, and we're happy that you're here. Lots to share with you wonderful folks this morning, and we're just delighted that you guys are here with us. Great to have each and every one of you on the live, guys. Share the live with us, and as I said, we're working through a couple challenges we have at the back end. But again, great to have you good folks with us. Good to have you guys on with us this morning. And who do we have joining us today? We got all the usual suspects. We got Ann Cummins and Giselle Chipper, Dolly, Sheila Boyd-Child. I see Siobhan is here, Beryl is here. All the guys here. Mia Miller is here. How's London doing, Mia? How's London treating you? I see y'all got some challenges on your hand. Maybe we got to bring you in live to help us navigate some of them, because I think we have some of them we're going to be discussing. At least one of them we're going to be discussing this morning. But it's great to have so many of you with us, guys. Great to have so many of you with us. We are delighted. Simply delighted. And if you give us a sec, we're going to be right there. It's just a kind of morning. It's just a kind of Monday. It's Monday, guys, the 3rd of April. It's Monday, the 3rd of April. And we're a little bit in podcast mode right now. Monday, the 3rd of April, guys. And we're delighted that you folks are here with us. How are you all doing out there? How are you folks not doing on it? Great to see each and every one of you, wherever you guys are joining us from. We're happy to be here, and not firing on all six, but we are delighted to be here with you guys. Rowena Cummins and Giselle Chipper, Lashana DeCaries, Stacey Ann Stoll, and all the other guys who are here with us. Great to see you. Let's get right to it, folks. Quite a couple of things we're covering, and here's some of the stuff happening on the morning papers close to where you guys are. And we're just pulling out a couple of them. A couple of the things happening on the morning papers today. A couple of them. Good to have each and every one of you as we get into what's going down in the morning papers. You see, Randolph is here. Randolph and Stacey Ann Jones, Clifton Smith, Roxanne Aaron, Shirley Juice Tendre is here too. Riri Mingo Garaway, Good to have you and all the other guys who are joining us this morning. Julian Armstrong is here. Good to see you, Julian. Roxanne, as he said, good to have you, Roxanne. A couple of things we are following, guys, in the morning papers. We're going to be sharing with you, and we just want to make sure everything is clicking. But great to have you folks here with us. Nonetheless, good to see each and every one of you. A couple of things we're tracking in the morning papers today. We don't know why we're getting so many challenges today. Just don't know why. All the challenges we're getting today. Apologies, we can be right there. As I said, we got so many things which we're trying to make sure click correctly at the back end. And it's just one of those damn mornings. You all pray for us. pray. Pray for us. It's just one of those mornings. We're trying to make sure we got good visuals, and that seemed to be the biggest challenge. Just trying to make sure we got good visuals. I think you're all hearing us clearly. We want to make sure that you all see us clearly now. Alrighty then. It is what it is. So forgive us if we're looking a little brighter than usual. Apologies there. Again, good morning wherever you folks are joining us from, and we are just delighted. Chisel Chipper is here, and I see we got Margaret and Joel and Lionel and Rowena. Rand Santram is here, and Joy. Is it Hopkinson is here too? Guys, great to see each and every one of you. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, wherever you guys are joining us from. Happy Monday. Morris, Miss Morris is here. Margaret, that is here. Ayabo Natasha Congress, well, she's close to it. She's close in the same place, I think, with Mia Miller. Good to have you guys on. Yvonne McPherson is here as well, and Lionel, GT Boy is here, and Cheryl Bascom Greenwich. Good to see you folks. Let's touch on some of what's happening close by where you guys are with the morning papers. And first up, here's one that we're covering. Malaysia seemed to be coming around a little bit. They were very serious on crimes that are committed there. And one of the headlines that jump out of us this morning is the fact that Malaysia is ending its mandatory death penalty for serious crimes. Right? I think they got enough pressure from the international community. So let's just slip up. Oh, you want to push cocaine and so on through Malaysia? Soon as you slip up, them boys gone with you. So being reported there, one of the issues on the front pages, one of the headlines which we're tracking, folks. Malaysia is ending its mandatory death penalty for serious crimes. Yolanda Thomas, thanks for that contribution. Yolanda going to show off herself early Monday morning, and has made a contribution to our program there. So we had it nicely. Maybe we can have it again. Right? Showing off herself there, you know what the guys did. Showing off herself there, and has made a contribution live in our program. Boom! And folks, you guys can do that on our YouTube channel. There's the $sign down at the bottom on our YouTube channel, on the comment section, and the guys make those contributions live on our program, and we can bring them like that. Thanks to technology, folks. What would we be without it? What would we be without the technology? So thanks, Yolanda. Thanks for that. Thanks for being so gracious. Thank you. Yeah, so much for that, folks. Moving on. And for all of you who are here, welcome, guys. Welcome again. Welcome to our community. Those of you who are new, thanks for joining us as well. Look, some of the other stuff we were following this morning. Another headline, folks, jumping out at us. Look at this one. This was a letter to the editor, and this was Shamshun Mohammed wrote this letter to the editor, which I was quite interesting because it has bearing on some press conferences we saw last week coming out of the administration, and one of the installed regime, the installed administration, and this one said that these press conferences had little substance. And you know, when Shamshun Mohammed, who's an avid letter writer, start talking about little substance, government press conference, you know where you're going, right? They know where you're going. Of course, they came out trying to push back on some of the negative coverage that they were getting. And one of the points that Shamshun Mohammed makes in this letter to the editor is that they seem to have done more damage than good, right? More bad than good, having these hurriedly put together press conferences, trying to again push back against some of what they deem as negativity, right? And the header for the letter is 2 press conferences with little substance. So I ain't got to tell you what that means. 2 press conferences with little substance. The thing speaks for itself. Ipso facto speaks for itself. Little substance, and those are one of the things we're tracking this morning. Look, one of the other headlines that we're looking at. One of the other headlines, right? 18-year-old remanded for robbery. The age is striking. I think this was in East Rhymeville. This happened here in Georgetown. 18-year-old remanded for robbery. Right? And we'll continue to see here, folks, that we gotta really fight for our young people. Now, what is happening in this young child's life? Is this just own way, disgusting as we say, or are there deeper things? When you and it said rob a friend too. When you're just 18, merely 18 years old, and you're involved in robbing an acquaintance, a robbery, period. Robbery, period. You got to watch that, right? 18-year-old Mark King, he's of East Rhymeville. I know I saw East Rhymeville in there. Mark King of East Rhymeville, remanded to prison after he was charged with robbing an acquaintance, right? And part of the notation here is that the particular offense states that on March 18th, at Avenue of the Republic, while in the company of others, he robbed the 17-year-old of a Samsung Galaxy phone worth $15,000 and a gold chain worth $120,000. And he was not required to enter a plea. While in the company of others. So Martin is just 18 and has taken on a life of crime already. Right. What's happening there? What is happening there? You see, we talk about biggest oil economy and all of those things, largest GDP and all of those things that sound nice on the surface, but you got 18-year-olds who turn into a life of crime. Why is that? Right? But we're not a country that likes study and so on. Because you'll send in the sociologists now to come and tell us what's going on there. We don't like studies and all of those things. No. We're not in favor of that. But clearly a lot happening on that front. Clearly, well, we say you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Remanded to prison. Probably go in there and get even more hardened. All right. Look what else you're following in terms of headlines. Alexander issues an open call. This is the chairman of Ipadagy, Vincent Alexander, issues an open call for the president to meet with the African Aligned Organization. And it's not the first time. Why doesn't Irfan want to meet with Ipadagy? I mean, they've been trying to bolster their Afro-Guyanese credentials. They've been trying to bolster. Why do they want to meet with this bunch of black people who are looking after the interests of Afro-Guyanese? Why is that? Why is Irfan Ali so reluctant? because he probably knows. And these guys are in touch with the facts. They know what happening. You can't bamboozle them. I've been hearing time and again a party saying they want to meet with the president. They got some issues to discuss that's happening in the black community. And there's been such a reluctance. Right? Why is he afraid? Why is that? Right? Why chinking? He's not coming full. Why is that? Well, folks, they want to know as well. Folks, they want to know as well. Those are a couple of things, guys, that we're tracking on the morning papers today. Just a couple. What's happening where you guys are this morning? How was the weekend, Annette and Edward David, Chisel Chipo? How was the weekend at your end? Anil, Sibolak, how are things at your end? Ronald Cussenbert, how are things at your end this morning? I like how Out Front Part says it. Morning neighbor. Morning neighbor. Yep. Stacey Ann and all the other guys who are joining us. How are things? Stacey Ann says our weekend was great. Well, we're happy. We're happy. Once is that way. Annette and all the others, once is that way, we're happy for you folks. If you're happy, you had a great weekend, then we're happy for you guys as well. We'll have it no other way. Folks, we want to turn our attention, as you know, to some of the things that are happening internationally, some of the things that are happening regionally as well. We can circle back to that, and then we double up on some of the additional things that we see happening on the ground here that we think are a bit of interest to you good folks out there. Yep. Sharon Griffith, we see you as well, Sharon. All right. Chisel says was a warmish weekend in this ice box. Where you live in Antarctica? Do let us know. Warmish weekend in the ice box. Gloria Fraser, we see you there. Alexis Williams and Gaylord Evans, Gilali Cock, Kemp Cooper. Speaking truth to power. That's a name, folks. That's a name. Speaking truth to power. Trust you guys have had a good weekend. And looks like you're coming out of it in one piece. Looks like we're coming out of it in one piece. But take the opportunity, guys, as we still tweaking and coming to come. Take the opportunity, share the live. You know how we do it. Smash that emoji button, good folks. We're fired up at this end, and we're ready to go. Fired up at this end, good folks, and we're ready to go. And we trust that you guys are as well. We trust that you guys are as well. Look at some of the things we're following internationally. Can't seem to find my notes. I told you, it's one of those mornings. It's one of those mornings. Yeah. Some of the things we're following internationally, folks. Look a couple of them. And this is why I was talking about where May is, because they're telling us in the UK, schools are facing schools face fresh strikes within weeks after teachers reject insulting pay offer. Now, what these guys call insulting pay offer in the UK, I mean, y'all be tripping over yourselves here. We got to contend with your little 10,000 from your what? Your 10,000 for your 10 days a month? Is it that? Right? It should be 40,000 for the 10 days. But folks keep complaining to us all the time. On the ground where we are, we have all of these, we got all of these challenges, right? We got all of these challenges where getting that salary, getting that 10,000 from these guys is like, that 40,000 is like pulling teeth. That's what they tell us. Getting that 40,000, that number. Oh, you miss a day that the guy with 5. So, when we saw the folks in the UK complaining about this insulting pay offer, we know some of you guys will be tripping over yourself, right? But based on what's happening on the ground, we know that you guys deserve better pay, right? Based on what the system is in the UK. We were new teachers, you know. Guyanese teachers reach out to us and say, it's true, it's true. It's craziness on the ground, right? And some folks think it's really and truly is Sunak. They got a problem with. I find like since Sunak became PM, there's a lot of protests. You know, one wonders if that is politically motivated. If that is politically motivated. Gail, I see a comment, right? Gail, I see a comment. Please, please, give your boy a reminder, please. Gail Alicock, I see a comment. Savita Richards, good morning. Commissioner Cole, good morning. So the folks in Britain, the government didn't drop on the right number. They haven't dropped on the right number, so the folks ain't having it. The folks not having it. They haven't dropped on the right number. Tracy Clark, good morning. Siobhan McDonald, good morning. The folks, they ain't dropped on the right number yet. So the guys holding out. Holding out. Look at us recovering, guys. Now this one here is something else. I'm certain you probably saw this flash across your screen. There's a Russian blogger, a Russian writer. He was killed over the weekend. Killed over the weekend. And this has such intrigue. Now, Russia is blaming the Ukraine, interestingly, right? Never mind the blogger seemed to have been pro-Ukraine in his writing and against this war. It seems that way. Guys, if you know differently, let us know, because we know some of you in touch with information more than us. Right? But it seems to us he was against this Ukraine war, this Ukraine war. But it's interesting. This young lady who is suspected to have had a hand in his killing, it's quite interesting. The authorities tell us that she's been following him around with these different public events that he's been at. Is it Drea Trepova? I think is the young lady's name, 26-year-old. Drea Trepova is the name given. And it says that the last time she had contact with the Russian blogger, she gave him a figurine. And apparently it was in this figurine, this ornament, had the explosive. And the explosive detonated, killing him and injuring about 30 persons. It's quite an intriguing story. And so she has been detained. And whether she knew or not the figurine had an explosive in it is another story. It's another story, because if you follow, for instance, how Kim Jong-un's brother was killed, remember he was at an airport when some operatives hired some young women and they thought they were pulling a prank. And they were to put a handkerchief over his nose. They thought they were part of a reality TV program, and they were putting a prank on this unsuspecting person, not knowing there was a nerve gas on that tissue. Hence I said, whether she knew it or not, but the authorities suspect that the explosive was in this figurine. Which says to me, you got to be careful when people giving you things. You know, and it comments, you got to be careful. And, you know, as activists, you got to be even more careful and vigilant, because you know them boys. You know them boys stay. So we got to be very, very, very vigilant and take nothing for granted. And so, you know, our thoughts and prayers go to the family of this blogger who lost his life like that, you know, just for what he believed, right? Vladen Tatarsky is the name of the blogger, Vladen Tatarsky. And for just having a belief system, a strong belief, and he was writing about that right? All the time. Right? They said his real name is Maxim Fomin. Maxim Fomin. His blogging name is Vladimir Tatarsky. And it's quite interesting for just your belief how people would want you out of the way. And they tell us that he was a Donbass native and joined local forces, right, fighting in this war too. So he had his part to play as well. But it's interesting, and as we get more information, Andrew's helping us. You see, I did say some of you might know even more than us. Andrew's telling us he was pro-Russian. He was pro-Russian. Thanks, Andrew, bringing us up to speed. It's the intrigue that got us. The intrigue that got us, that you placed a bomb in a figurine and they say to all of us who are on the front line, fighting a different war, gotta be careful, gotta be vigilant, careful, vigilant, and woke. So that's one of the things we're following, folks, internationally. Thanks, guys. Pro-Russian. Now this one, Kamal Prasad, the deputy chair, vice chairperson, it's better phrase, vice chairperson Region 7 has joined us. This one here, right, an Australian school principal, is it Malka Leffer? You know, these names sometimes, in this case, an Israeli name might not be pronounced the way we would look at it and kind of call it in the English. But Malka Leffer was this school principal, and this what they call an ultra-Orthodox Jewish school. Ultra-Orthodox Jewish school. And clearly from the report, Malcolm fighting her own demons. Clearly from the report, she been fighting her own demons. All right? Because she was wanted for alleged sexual assault on students at this she's the principal, this ultra-Orthodox Jewish school. Now, it says that that she was found guilty on 18 charges. She worked in Melbourne, Australia. That's where they had the school. And when she was being investigated, she fled to Russia. And of course, you had, you know, extradition and all that. They said 90 cases led to her coming back to Melbourne, being brought back. The reality of it, being brought back to Melbourne, Australia, to face these charges. And Miss Leffer, it says the charges including raping students. Listen to this: raping students during a sleepover, sexually assaulting a pupil during a school camp. So she was found guilty of 18 charges and cleared of 9 others. Right? And three of the young women that she would have sexually assaulted spoke out publicly about how their lives have been damaged by the actions. Right? This is described as an ultra-Orthodox Jewish school in Australia. Right? And if you know anything about the Jews, religion is first and foremost. So for all intents and purposes, this was a religious school. This was a religious school. And the principal is sexually assaulting the students. And it's people like Leffer It will give religion a bad name. Because people see this and say, me get time with God. If the head of a religious school, and not just a religious school, the term ultra-orthodox, not just that you're orthodox, you're ultra. And what? How many instances of assault she was found guilty of? How many? 18 charges. Found guilty of 18 charges. Nine were, she was cleared of 9. Rape. And then fled because she was a dual citizen. Fled to Israel. Well, the authorities didn't happen. They post her back to face the consequences of her actions. Malka Leifer. Yep. And I should say to us again about the vigilance that you should have where it concerns the children. Right? The vigilance. Some people, you send your children to school, that's it, You never go to a PTA meeting. You don't check the books. You see? You don't ask no questions. You send them to school. Whatever happens, you send them to daycare. But it's not the education that's the big thing, Is that they get somewhere for go and you go to work or wherever you do. But we have to have an abiding interest in how they come in and who they're associating with and what's happening. An abiding interest. So you sending your child to a camp or something like that. And those things are still good and wholesome. I went to a lot of camps that had a really good impact on my life. A positive impact. Never encountered nothing like that. But you send your children to camp and you got a malco to deal with, you're in problems. You got a malco to deal with, you're in some real problems. This is a big week, folks. Faye Ferdinand, right? Faye Ferdinand says her name close to the devil. I didn't miss that. Right? Leifer, and Lucifer, very close. Very close. I didn't miss that. Maybe it's a sister. You never know. You just never know. But it's a big week, folks. It's a big week for New York. Right? Folks are saying tomorrow, Tuesday, is going to be that arraignment of former President Trump on these indictment charges. Well, this is a sealed indictment, so we don't know the particulars of the charges as yet. But we could know tomorrow, because tomorrow they say it's going to be a big day. I saw one report that says that they're not expecting anything on the scale of January 6th, right? Where you have that insurrection there at Capitol Hill. They're not expecting anything on that scale, but I don't think they're taking anything for granted. I don't think they're taking anything for granted at all. Right? One headline called it a consequential week this week that we're in. Right? Lock him up. I can see some of you chanting, lock him up. It's going to be a consequential week. Again, another headline says that the U.S. is now in uncharted territory, much like us. Uncharted territory. They haven't been here before. So we're going to be bracing ourselves too at this end. We're going to be bracing ourselves at this end as well. Folks, we hasten to some of what is happening regionally. Some of what is happening regionally. And I feel like this fella from the United National Congress there in Trinidad, like he just wake up. Because he's now pouncing on an issue that is weeks old. I mean, we touched on this a long time ago. A long time ago. The new commissioner of police there in Trinidad and Tobago, the new commissioner of police is a woman, right, and seems to have been doing well thus far. Let's hope she can hold on for the length of her tenure. But this UNC politician, he just ran out. And she had said that, when situations are beyond you, you got to call on God. Well, who tells you if it says so? Right? But like he just wake up and realize a month or 2 months ago, the commissioner of police had made this statement, and he's now, as the headline said, he now scoffs at prayer for crime. Well, you can scoff how much you want, unless the Lord watch the city, the watchman will watch your vein. He's now scoffing. Right? Dinesh Rambali, a member of parliament for the United National Congress party there in Trinidad, scoffing at prayers for crime. You think praying for the crime situation is an issue? The police got to do what the police got to do. And I'm certain that the Commissioner of Police is going to make sure of that. The Commissioner of Police in Trinidad and Tobago. Right? And if people want to pray that God intervenes, right? What are you going to do? Tessa Samuels wants to know when we going to see this in Guyana. It might be a little while, Tess. Tessa, it might be a little while. It might be a little bit. Might be a little bit. All right? It might be a little bit. But he's scoffing. That's what the headline said. He is scoffing. Scoffing at the implications of the prayer for crime. And that's some of what we're tracking in the headlines. I don't know why the man's scoffing. The Commissioner of Police wants to pray. Let the lady pray. Lord knows, something got to help we. Lady wants to pray. What's the problem? Huh? Can't we just all get along? Mr. Rabbali, can't we just all get along? But look this, we're still in Trinidad. Look this, right? If you ever been in labor, like my wife and I have, you know when the kids say they're coming, when the children say they're coming, right? Folks, I told y'all before, this thing about we're in labor, right? It's meant to, I think, make people feel good somewhere. Right? When I saw my wife in labor, I realized really in labor, this girl, this lady in labor by herself. I was there. I got the chance to see my son, my last son, come into the world. Right? That child can't give me no rudeness, Can't give me no rudeness. It's bare discipline. I was about to say it's bare licks, but some of y'all get jumpy. Right? It's bare discipline. No. This child started coming when the mother was on the way. Nazima Aladdin, or Aladdin rather. Nazima Aladdin. She was on her way to hospital. Right? I didn't make it. I had to pull in by a police station. Yep. Pull in by a police station. I saw my son come into the world. Really went in labor. I see everything. I'm faint. I was happy that the hospital allowed us to come in, allowed me to come in, right? I'm happy. They didn't call it the maternity something. I know this is the old name. They call it the birthing room. I like that. I like that euphemism, the birthing room. Folks, that's a birthing room. My wife had to squat, lie down on the bed, all kinds of stuff. This child was problems. And then I saw this nurse, and I was kind of gauging the intensity of what was happening in the room. Right? My wife hollering out, screaming. You think it's exorcist train there? But I was gauging the intensity of what was happening by the reactions of the nurses. This was in St. Joseph Mercy Hospital, the birthing room. I was gauging their reaction to know if there's trouble. See the nurse just moving around. It's an ordinary day. But what started me, I saw the nurse took a scissors and clipped my wife. Like it's nothing. In my mind, I'm saying, well, I still got to use clip my wife like that, clips, to make passage, right? And then I saw my son big head, right? And then I saw that guy see the sunlight for the first time. I can't remember how he started crying, but maybe they give him a little wallop or something like that. She went to labor. We didn't went to labor. Me feel none of that. Right? I was there for moral support. You come in nice. Push, push. You come in nice, right? I did like those guys at the on a runway. Push, push, coming good. This lady had a baby in a police station. All right, to see when these children say to come in, the children come in, the children come in. So big shout out to those folks. What's the name of the police? Is it Cova? I want to get it right. Which police station? Scanning the notes on the monitor here. They tell us this was at. Sorry, she was heading to San Grande, right? Hospital there in Trinidad, and I'm trying to get which police station this was. Probably the police station in the neighborhood there. I don't know how this name is pronounced. Biche. Is it Birch Police Station? Shout out to the folks there at that police station. They helped her out. Yeah, and they said the husband was there assisting too, Mr. Deron Ramachar. He was there assisting too. Kudos to that. I wish more men could be part of the process. Right? More men could be part of it. You see how your children come into the world. You can't rather let them children, nor the mother. You see what that woman has to go through. You went through. We're having a baby. This is the women alone. Right? We're there for moral support, financial support, and otherwise, right? Roxanne says nothing to laugh about. I saw how that girl my son come into the world. I wish more men could be part of that. Right? Y'all ask. Y'all go to the hospital, ask if y'all could go into the labor room or the birthing room. That's probably the new way to say it. The birthing room. Right? I didn't faint. I stand up there ready. Ready for anything. I didn't faint. So congrats to the parents in a police station. When the baby said the baby come in, the baby come in. That's all I can tell you. Baby come in. And it so happened they got good help at the police station. Got good help at the police station, and mother, baby, and father, everybody doing fine. Everybody doing fine. In 592, folks, in the 592, now this is a very, very serious story. Very, very serious story. We're turning our attention at what's happening, folks, close to where we are. Close to where we there. In the 592. And first up again is this story. A young man is claiming, right, to have had vigilante justice meted out against him by the police. By the police. It says he was somewhere in the vicinity of the East Ramville police station when he noticed there was a roadblock. And in an effort to evade police, apparently he turned back and was headed in the other direction. He collided with a car and he was later hospitalized. But they're telling us on his deathbed, he said he was badly beaten by the police. Yep. On his deathbed, he said he was badly beaten by the police. Now, these are some very, very damning allegations. Very, very damning allegations. The police got a different story. Of course, they're saying that didn't happen, but the allegations, Keith Evans and all the other folks, right? The allegations are something else. And the young man is Colin Murphy, called Day. Colin Murphy, called Day. And 6 weeks after this accident, he died. This was mid-March. This accident happened. This whole episode with trying to evade the police and all of that. Right? And the report tells us here that Murphy, also known as Day, of Haslington, a welder by profession, he was also employed by Guyana Shore Base. Right? He died at the Georgetown Public Hospital after this accident, as I said, outside the East Lepentance police station there. He said that throughout his hospital stay, Murphy and his family had repeatedly claimed that he was accosted and beaten by 2 police officers following the accident. And of course, as I said, an allegation that the police force has denied. But this is what Mr. Murphy said from his hospital bed. And there's a recording I've made to understand to this effect. I sure they lashed me up in my head. Right? They lashed me up in my head with a gun. Because if you watch my skin, you'd see I ain't get enough white tea. Like when you ride and fall down on your bike. It's all them gun butt. They lashed me up in my neck. Right? They lashed me up in my neck back. I must see trouble my spine. So no doubt, Mr. Murphy family is alleging that the complications that he died from, as a matter of fact, in this report, they're telling us that the injuries he got from the accident were minor injuries that he could have recovered from, but it's the this beating by the police, by 2 policemen. That's what the family is telling us. This beating by 2 policemen is what hastened the death of Mr. Murphy. That's what they're telling us. It's this beating that he got. Another intriguing story. Another intriguing story. And when we're done with that, it's not a good week. The weekend started very nicely for the police, because they're telling us that a motorcyclist was struck down by a police vehicle over the weekend. In a separate story, struck down by a police vehicle, and what we have there is on the graphic shows a CCTV camera showing the time of impact. This was at the William Public Road, right, on the west side. The William Public Road. Right? The motorcyclist is hospitalized currently after being struck down by this police vehicle. They say the accident reportedly took place around 2100 hours, and this was on Saturday, over the weekend. And footage from the accident showed that the motorcyclist was heading west along the southern side of the road at a normal rate of speed when a speeding police pickup with flashing lights slammed into him from behind. You heard that? That's the report. Motorcyclist proceeding at a normal rate of speed. Police vehicle flashing sirens. We're being attacked with flashing sirens now in this city and in this country. Right. If you got to go between 3 corners, you'll come into contact with at least 4 sets of flashing sirens, different sets. Everybody, as we say in the vernacular, everybody and their grandmother got sirens. Right? The maid, the housekeeper, everybody. Right? Everybody want to come through, boring through. Quick, 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 fast, 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 in a hurry. Yeah. Flashing lights. That's what the report says. He was going at a normal rate of speed, struck by the police from behind. Struck by the police from behind. See on top of that? We're going to see on top of that some bizarre story. Bizarre story. We told you, ANOC said they weren't contesting local government elections. Last week, they said it takes money, personnel. They ain't got need of them. Right? They don't have need of them. Is it that? Are them boys enjoying the brown bags too much to care about really representing the people on the ground. Right? Some of them get in nice. One man from Anu, who he's advisor on border, so get a nice 1.5 a month plus perks. So Mark is saying now, Dr. Mark Francis with Anu, a new United Guyana, and he's the chairman of that political entity. He says he's going to be running as an independent. Right? You want to get on the council there at New Amsterdam. He's going to be running as an independent candidate. They ain't got the money, they ain't got the personnel to run as a party. He's going as an independent for the council there. Right? Yeah, wish him the best. Wish him the best. On that, Nigel Hughes, attorney at law, told us over the weekend that his client, Chukuma Ogunse, is still in police custody. Is still in police custody. Still. Right? And told us very early, he had every indication that we were going to keep his client for 2 hours or more. He said the punishment has already started. The punishment, he didn't try it, but the punishment have already started. Apologies there, folks. If you're now joining us, we are covering issues in the 592. He didn't try this yet. Not tried as yet. But already being punished. We're going to keep on top of that, folks. We're going to keep on top of that because I think the 72 hours up today. So we can keep on top of that. You know, ExxonMobil was asking for duty-free concession for more than 100 of its vehicles to transport its workers. And of course, you got some companies who have invested a lot to do that. Right? I saw, I'm not saying specifically in this case, I've seen Cyril's transportation service has grown tremendously in the last few years. I see, is it Night Rider? Right? So lots of people have invested in transportation to be able to service the sector like that. Now, Exxon wants to buy its own vehicles. I saw them say last week they're not going to grant them duty-free concession, but they want to purchase 100 vehicles to ferry their employees. And what is striking, Irfanani has come out now to say that it's not going to affect local content. Now, isn't that silly? Claudette certainly, Esther Blue certainly, Oren Barker Cecile certainly. If a company use the local market to service getting its workers to and fro their destinations and is now buying their own vehicles to do that, certainly that's going to affect local content. Local content is the businesses locally that are benefiting from the oil and gas sector. See, if I get 30 buses to do the work and then I no longer have the people to ferry, am I not going to be affected by that? How pay for these buses when the money come? If money from the bank or something like that I took to buy them, how pay the 30 drivers that I got here? They ain't going to affect us? And he says, no, the purchases of these, the purchase of these SUVs will not impact local content. Jesus. You see what's happening when you go to IFLOT University? You all don't sign up there. I'm begging you all. Do not sign up by IFLOT University. You see what happens? You see what happens? He says it's not going to affect them. Right? Atosio James says there is past kindness. Right? Claudette Boville says exactly out of the mouth of a dunce. Right? Commissioner Cole says, of course it will affect local business. And Commissioner Cole makes another important point. They are abusing, Exxon is abusing, right, the shortcomings of this government. The weakness of this administration. Exxon abusing it. The weakness of this administration. Abusing it. Well, folks, y'all know how we say here in the vernacular. Whether you're at home or abroad, I know you'd understand it. Right? You say, when you catch a pacu, what you just do? Elizabeth Mercurius, Hollis Charles, Annette Cummins, Diane Abrams. When you catch a pacu, what you just do? You say, come and be my friend. Come and run my life, pacu. When you catch a pacu, Cecile, Yvonne Ramasar, Joel Ward, what do you do? Agri Marsh. So Agri over the weekend at an event. Agri is there all over, you know. Oh, Jesus. Some people like that. You can't get rid of them. They're all over. They're plenty. They're enough. Yep. Good to see you, Agri. June Gilbert. Where catch a pacu? What you do, man? Tessa Samuel says, is bossy back. You bossy back and you pack salt. Tessa. Tessa know the story. Debbie Collins say you bossy back and you pack salt. Commissioner Cole say salt. When you catch and pack, that's what's happening. Right? Jenny's Booker. Ayasha Natasha Congraves. Donna Daly. Carmen Bailey. See, I know the story. When you catch a pacu, you bossy back. You pack salt and you preserve it. Everybody see the fool you got to deal with. Oh, it's not gonna affect local content. No, it's not. It's not. We got closed down Eiffel University though. We got it closed down. Eiffel University will not continue to operate. It will not. That's a local university. It's not going to affect local content. No. Right? Then people could bring in their own chef. Then people could buy land and bring in people to plan their own food. They would say, no, local content isn't affected. It's not affected. And I dare tell you, this is the first, this is the first shot across the bow. We're looking to see what the people who are affected going to do. If they're going to be boots on the ground, or they can just take quiet and say, we want to embarrass the administration. We vote for them. Right. We're looking to see the statements that will come out now, because this is right front and center in the work that the Private Sector Commission, the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce, there's comment on some things that don't even concern them. Now, this right up your alley. Blush eye. Right up your alley. So we wait to see the press statement. They comment on all manner of things. And go across the road. Private sector ready. Now this is right up your alley. Right up your alley. Let's see what comes out of it. Let's see what comes out of it. Right? Let's see. This might be discrimination for all you know. For all you know. Talking about that, folks. Over the weekend, the Institute for Action Against Discrimination held an event. Right? Just over the weekend, the Institute for Action Against Democracy, they held an event, and that activity was held at, Victoria? Golden Grove, over the weekend. All right? And of course, several speakers, all of them made the arguments what is happening locally on the ground and what we should be doing to combat that. The featured presenter, Senior Counsel Royce Ford, speaking at that event, made several important points. We want to bring some of that to you. Right? It's posted, the entire program is posted on our Facebook page of Credible Sources, and you can access it there. So on our YouTube channel as well, you can go back and look at all of those speeches. And I recommend it. But before we wrap up this morning, we wanted to give you some of what Senior Counsel Ford said at that meeting there at Golden Grove on the issue of discrimination. Discrimination. We're going to bring you in the point where he talks about them coming against the land ownership of the Lincoln Lewis and his family, who can trace their ancestry to slave and their forefathers buying land in Kingley and the West Coast. And now the administration is fighting them. And not can trace by word of mouth, can trace by having the transport document that their forefathers who were slaves bought that property for. This is where we pick up in this discussion, this presentation that Senior Counsel Royce Ford made over the weekend at Golden Grove.
This evening, Comrades present, brothers and sisters present, and to all of the Guyanese family listening on social media, whether in or out of Guyana, in our diaspora especially, that Kojo McPherson represents each of us, our grandparents, our former slave ancestors, and we who are discriminated by this current violent, wicked regime. All legal and peaceful efforts must be made to help this family and by extension this nation to secure their documented and established tears and blood-written legacy. Today, in similar fashion, comrades, we must stand, and we have no choice to stand with our brother Takuma Bunsi, who is currently in the lockups, having presented himself to a police base on a wanted bulletin issued for him. Now understand me clearly. And let me say this very clearly. Though some of us may not agree with the statements made by him, we must recall that Mr. Bunsi sought to explain, and he did explain what he meant, denying a cause of violence or any intent of violence. Notwithstanding that, Irfan Ali, Bharat Jagdeo, Anil Nandalal, and the group of them is currently holding him where he does not have a chance to leave, at least before Monday. We are living in dark times.
That's right.
Dangerous times.
That's right.
We live in times in which we would not want our children to grow up. But we are the adults, and we must stand to ensure that we leave a legacy that is fitted and protected for our children. This government is seeking to curtail our freedoms, not only physically, mentally, psychologically. They're seeking to control our emotions. And by doing so, you control a people. And when you achieve that, you control their right to freedom of expression. And having controlled the aforementioned abilities of a free people, they have no right to express because they have nothing to say. We must give solidarity, comrades and brothers and sisters, to our brother Takuma. And whereas we stand on the side of law, we all stand in support of freedoms as enshrined in all international conventions and in the laws of Guyana. I must touch on the cases of Justice Janet Cummings Edwards and Roxanne George Wilson Senior Counsel, both of whom are the acting Chancellor and the acting Chief Justice of this country. And I stand here today, this afternoon, as an attorney at law, as a member of parliament, as an African Guyanese, as a citizen, and as a senior counsel, to tell you that these sisters are being discriminated. They are being discriminated to prevent them being conferred with the office that they're currently acting, to deny them the right of promotion. The careers of these two African women are stunted, like the lives that we live, that is stunted. by the failure to provide proper nutrition to our children. Their intellectual and physical abilities are stunted. The PPP wants to have us stunted, comrades.
That's right.
This must come to an end, and they must be allowed and must be conferred with these higher promotions and opportunities for which they are most eminently qualified. The leader of the opposition dispatched a letter to the government, making it known clearly his agreement for the confirmation of the appointment of these two distinguished women to the substantive positions of these two offices to which they are eminently qualified. No government, whether of a majority Indian or a majority African composition, or any group, is bigger than the combined forces of all of our people.
That's right.
No government headed by anyone, Irfan Ali, Barajak, Yamadinandra, Ronsdale Ford, Aubrey Norton, have no right and must not be allowed to marginalize any of us. For we, the people of Guyana, must hold them to high standards and hold them accountable. Half of the problems, maybe more, is simply because the ordinary citizens of this country fail to hold the government accountable. We are empowered to exercise our franchise and ballot, and we must terminate them at the earliest possible opportunity. And the earliest possible opportunity comes in phases. And the most earliest possible opportunity is at the local government level. Once we and our supporters have treated local government elections as not important,
Very important.
it is very important. It is very important, especially in the context in which we live, in a rabid, racist, wicked, despotic government. We must use this as an opportunity, as a referendum, as to express our dissatisfaction in the management that the government has of the resources of this country. We must use it as an opportunity to demonstrate our rejection of the efforts to control us and to marginalize and to discriminate. We must not be afraid. Turn up and vote on June 12th. Vote solidly against the PPP. As the most basic rights of freedom of expression, association, and right to life has even become compromised, the people of this country are becoming more aware of an emerging draconian state, where the rights of the small man and the small woman and everyone who's not connected being compromised.
There you have it, folks. That was Comrade Ford making the arguments. And that was the activity hosted in Golden Grove by the Institute for Actions Against Discrimination. Institute for Action Against Discrimination. They have another event coming up. I think it's every 3 weeks or something like that. They're going to put on one of these forums. Folks, when you know where it's happening, go out in your numbers. Go out in your numbers and be a part. If you're in the diaspora, we're going to try to bring it to you live if we can, or afterwards. But you can have it valid, credible information. Go out if you can and be part of these activities. I see Gail Hescott says, impeach Ali, Neon Harding, Donald Joseph, Siobhan McDonald, and all the other folks who are joining us this morning. We want to thank you guys for staying with us. Folks, we'll be happy if these programs run and watch, but unfortunately, they don't. Unfortunately, they don't. We want to encourage you guys to support what we do here, folks, by partnering with us, and you can do that with a contribution via Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, MMG, MoneyGram, Western Union. Right? Continue to get valid, and credible information. We thank you guys for being part of our community here. It means a lot to us to have your love, to have your support, and we thank you for your generosity as well. It helps us to go out there and to be part of those events and bring it to you live, to capture it so you can see and hear what's happening on the ground here, among the other things. We thank you for your time. We thank you for your attention this morning. We thank you for staying with us. That's going to do it for us, and that's how you can contribute to our program here. Guys, go ahead and have a fantastic day. We're going to see you a little later on in the day, right back here, folks, on our other programs. We're going to see you right back here. Thanks for joining us, each and every one of you. That's my time this morning, and that's our program. I see Jenny's Booker. That is our time, and that is our program. Let me just say it clear. I see Jenny's Booker is there, Diane Abrams, and Unruly Gina. Yeah. Unruly Jenna. Everton Blackman and Karen Mohammed. Rhonda Gordon is here as well, guys. Have a fantastic morning. We're going to see you guys back here real soon. Take it easy there. Stay woke, folks. Stay vigilant. Stay vigilant. All right. Be alert out there. Thanks for joining us. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Stay safe. Stay safe.